Man, can I just be real with you for a minute? Um, you don't need any more motivation. You don't you don't need anybody to say anything deep to you. You don't need to hear any more sermons. You don't need to read any more books. You don't need to go any more master classes. You don't need to go to any more online courses. You just need to be better. When a lot of people hear that, man, they think that that's such an insult. But think about it. If nobody in your life is telling you that you need to be better and stuff you need to work on and stuff you need to change and some stuff you may need to reconsider, number one, do you really have people around you that love you? And number two, we claim we want to be certain type of people and live certain type of lives, but how can we ever truly evolve and never change for the better if we never make the choice to be better? See, we think it's such a negative connotation when somebody tells us that, but maybe it's going to help you get closer to everything you said you wanted. So, yeah, it's great to listen to the sermons and to go to church and to listen to the master classes and to have the mentors and all of that, man. It's to listen to my deep videos. It's a beautiful thing. But at the end of the day, you don't need no more of that. You need to actually apply the things you've learned and the things that you've heard over the years and the things that you accumulated and actually put it to work in your life. It's time to be better.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Quite literally. Will Tidwell, a younger gentleman.
I wish I didn't have this big heart. People just do nothing but hurt me. Anybody can dream the dream. Anybody can have a goal, but see,
you're gonna be a neighborhood hero. You just keep shining, young king.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee, and you are now tuned into the episode of SpeakUPZee the Podcast. In the podcast, we talk about real things with real people, everything from life to business to mental health and everything else in between. And like I said in the opening, man, you don't need no more motivation. You just need to be better. You just need to build some better habits. You just need to change the way that you go about some things in your life. And the crazy thing is that only you are gonna know what are those things that you need to change? What are those things that you need to address? What are those things about yourself that need to improve in order for you to improve? But we all got them. And so don't take this episode as like an attack against you or like I'm trying to talk like I know better than you and I got it all figured out, because I don't. I don't, man. But I'm not delusional enough to the point where I'm going to sit here and lie to myself and say that I need to keep doing all of that deep shit and listening to the sermons and listening to the master classes and listening to the podcast. And like all of that is great within its own time, right? But constantly using that as an excuse from actually doing the work and what you've learned and what you've been told and what you've been taught, it's just an excuse at that point. You see, the thing about it is when you talk about having better habits is that those habits for you are going to look a little bit different from other people in your life, from those people that you look up to, from those people that you admire from afar for their success. You see, because when we see certain people being successful and doing certain things and having certain ways of living and being able to do certain things in their life that we would love to do, we think that we got to go about it the exact same way that they did. We think that we got to have the exact same habits that they have. When in reality, you just got to find a rhythm and a pace and a direction that works for you. And let's make that real. I want to break that down in real time and make that tangible so you can walk away with this episode with a little bit more clarity around your own life, your own habits, and your own routine, right? Because 9 times out of 10, from the people that you've seen from afar, the way that they go about things is that they wake up early, they have their meditation, they have their time with God, they have their yoga, they have their workouts, they have their praise time, and all of that is great. I'm not down in that. All right. They have their workouts. They come back. They eat breakfast. They eat a healthy breakfast, or they eat breakfast. They'll take them a shower. If they work for themselves, they might get into their morning meetings and morning calls. If they work for somebody else, then they're going into the office, whatever. Right. And when we want to be successful and we want to do certain things in our life, we think we got to follow that same playbook. We think we got to go about things the exact same way. But I think that's also why it's so important and so key to just have those seasons and those moments in your life. And I say this all the time, where it's just you, where you have nobody to focus on but you. And that and what seasons may look like for different people are going to be completely different. For some people, that might literally be months to themselves. For another person, that might just be a day of the week to themselves. For another person, that may be ever so often just having a time away where they just go be with themselves and chill and reset and restore. But you got to have that time. Because you know what I've learned in that time with myself is that in order for me to be successful, it might not look like what other people do. Because, yeah, some people wake up early, but I'm not a morning person. I'm better when I'm able to work throughout the night, right? And then I'll go to bed, 4 or 5 in the morning. Sometimes, not all the time. And I'll wake up the next day, 11 a.m., 12 p.m. And sometimes I beat myself up because it's like, man, it's 12 p.m. I have to remember, man, I just went to bed. And that works for me. And from there, I'm able to get up and I'll straighten up my crib, and then I'll get me a workout in, and then I'll get to work, right? And if I have to speak, then I might adjust. I might have to go to bed earlier, or I might have to go ahead and get on up and go do my thing and then come back and nap. Like the point is the routine and the habits that work for you might not be the same routine and habits that works for this other person that you might admire that might do the exact same thing as you. But the real question is you asking what works for you. Because what I have learned is that no sermon and no speech and no video and no masterclass, no mentor, no pastor, nothing can ever replicate you doing the work. But just what I'm saying is that the way you get to getting the work done may look different from this other person. But there are going to be daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, reoccurring things that you're going to have to do in your life that you're not going to want to do in order to achieve everything you said you wanted, in order to go about everything you said you wanted in your life. But the routine and the habits that you build in order to achieve them may look different from a lot of other people. I need you to be okay with that. I need you to find the rhythm that works for you. And once you find it and you adapt to it and you're able to operate in that comfortably, I need you to be the best person that you can be, man. I need you to try to obtain everything that God has in store for you. Because he's just waiting on you. And this is the other hard part, and I'm gonna let y'all go, is that when that routine and those habits that you finally start to form, you get to a certain point in your life where those same routines and habits have to change. It's hard readjusting to that, right? It's hard finding a new rhythm in your life. But the sooner you're able to adapt and change with life as life changes, the sooner you'll see that success finds you so much easier. So if you took nothing away else from this lesson today, I want you to understand this, that you don't need any more motivation, because there are going to be some days when you're not motivated. There's going to be some days when you're just not feeling it. If you got a routine, you got certain habits that are embedded in your heart. Even when you're not feeling up to it, you might not want to do it. You might complain. You may rearrange how you go about some things. But at the core of who you are, you still get the stuff done. And when we learn to do the things that we don't love, we just find a way to do them in our own way. As long as they get done, man, your life becomes so much better. You don't need more motivation, man. It's just time for you to be better. I love you. Peace.
Hey, what's up? This is uplift with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee Podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.